What are you doing?
Hi, and welcome back to the Everton Voice Weekly Show here. I'm Steve, and for the next 30 minutes, we're going to be looking at the Everton performance yesterday against Manchester United and ahead to the season, which starts next Saturday against Southampton. And joining me in the studio are the guys who've been guiding you through so far, Basil and Mabsy. How are you both?
Yeah, great. Can't wait for the season. Not got my season ticket yet. Really fucked off. Everyone else has been sent theirs, not me. Fuming.
I'm happy. I've just opened the post. It's just come through. So Mabsy's very angry with me because he's currently not going to get in the ground. But
no, but as I say, that's ridiculous. But fuming.
No, it'll come. It'll come.
For 3.5 hours, I was on the phone yesterday of my life. No, not yesterday, on Saturday, Friday. 3.5 hours.
Well, that's not very Everton-like, but we'll move on from that point.
We'll come on to that. Anyone else dropping the ball if they haven't received theirs?
Yeah, if you've not received your season ticket, there's very little we can do here, but we would like to know, have you received your season ticket? Have you been on hold for a long time?
Or am I the only one?
And what do you think of the process? Do you think that the new process, the season tickets, the digital side of things, do you think that that is a great way forward? So today on the show, over the next half an hour, we're going to be looking at the start of the season against Southampton. We're going to be having a look at pre-season as a whole, how it went, the transfers in, and of course, how we performed yesterday, combined with the other performances. We'll have a little discussion around a certain gold medalist who managed to take a very debatable penalty, which went way over the bar yesterday, but still collected the first Olympic gold any Evertonian has won since Daniel Amokachi. And of course, we'll be taking any questions, comments from you. Just comment below and we will be your guide. So let's move on without further ado. So now the dust has settled on the defeat to Manchester United. Mabsy, have you had a chance to reflect on this in context of the pre-season?
Disappointing. I just still don't get why United last one. Why weren't we at home? Why were we used for Man United's whipping boy? Let's be frank about it. Pre-season's about usually playing lower teams opposition or some foreign team. Our last game at Goodison, like the shite are doing, you know what I mean? Just give me some confidence. But now, we've been the Everton as we do. We go to United away and do them a favour. It takes the mick. There we go. I said it.
Thanks, Mabsy. So, do you not think that there's an element of not being in a reality check when you play the lower, let's say you play a lower league opposition?
But pre-season's more about warm-up. It's more about building the confidence going into the season. You know, we've not been at Goodison for 18 bloody months, right? And we're still not at Goodison. You know, why on earth is that happening? It's about, okay, again, about testing yourself, but it's also about building your confidence up. You know, you're coming in now after a 4-0 defeat to United. It's not going to boost the confidence, is it? Come on, it's not going to big themselves up.
Some interesting comments coming in. Do you think Richarlison played in the Copa American Olympics in the hopes of a move? We'll come back to that in a minute. It's a great comment from Tim.
I'll come back to that, Tim. Yeah,
I think what we sometimes we cloud our judgment in the way that we structure our pre-season, playing a number of games that, let's just put it this way, are quite winnable, even with a disarranged side. Everton's tradition the last few years has always been a bit last minute. Transfers maybe coming in with a week to go, if at that, and then playing lower league opposition. And then when the season starts, obviously we want a running start, but we often play one European opposition at home. Basil, in terms of structuring the pre-season, do you think Everton have got it wrong? Do you think they had any choice this year in the way that they played Manchester United? And do you think that the way in which they lost last night was perhaps a good thing in the fact that we know where we stand?
Yeah, I think it was made out of circumstances, really. But I don't know whether we could have just played a game at home. You would have thought, why not? Why couldn't we just arrange a game at home? But if we said to United we want to play at home and they said we want to play at home, only one team can do that. I mean, I don't think that's entirely that significant, because I think actually leaving the fans till the first game of the season, it will give us a greater boost, because people will be more eager to raise the atmosphere. So I'm not so bothered about that. It's more the level of opposition that we played. They're a cut above us, aren't they? And in respect to the question you asked about whether that was a bad thing, well, we said last week, me and Mabsy, that it was good because we were going to get a test and see what we were like. And I think actually all it's done is show us that we've had a bit of positivity. We've won the 4 preseason games before that. We've played someone of a Premier League caliber and of a top Premier League caliber. And we've seen all the cracks that we've seen for the last 5 years have all just come straight back out, which is a real concern to me. But we've got to give it time. This isn't.
Yeah, I just think it would have been a chance, for the younger generation, the people without the season tickets, they do find it hard to try and get a ticket, had more of a chance, more affordable. You know what I mean? Just to get them back in, get us all back into it. I just feel it's a missed opportunity yet again. Well, it's over now. Can't do anything about it. But the shite, looking typical. They're playing Atletico Bilbao at home. They're not playing high level opposition. They're doing it to build their confidence and being selfish. And I think what Everton have done exactly the same. To be honest, is what Man United have done to us. Just use us as a whipping boy, and I don't think it's right. Everton should never agree to it. What are your thoughts, people?
Well, there was a big consensus of the comments coming in that Iwobi was massively underperforming yesterday, and the same names that people keep mentioning about leaving Everton keep coming up. So, I mean, obviously, Holgate was a great squad player last year, and we had a solid defence for many games, but there are certain names which are still in the Everton squad. And it all feels a bit last minute again.
Steve Chapman, you're right about James. I totally agree. I think he was dog shite last night. Dog shite.
I think yesterday it does show you the sort of still there's an imbalance in the squad, because obviously I don't know whether it's just unlucky that Richarlison's out at the Olympics and Calvert-Lewin's got this foot knock and Keane's out and Ellis Sims is out. Is it just all unlucky and Tosin's long-term injury?
Is Cabanon self-isolating of her?
Or is that a weakness in the area of the squad that we don't have enough forward depth? Or is it that we've been unlucky with injuries?
Was Cabanon isolating with Keane, not Ozzy together, but I think they're both isolating, weren't they?
I haven't heard that.
That's what I heard. But
there is an element of that. We have to realise that we lost our manager. We've not been able to turn it around as quickly as possible. We've had players out various different tournaments, and getting back players very late is not ideal. I don't know, Dave, whether in the next 2 weeks we can do much. I mean, Everton notoriously leave things to the last minute, but I do hope that we do bring in another player or so.
We need to. I think there's a comment also from Martin Squire said right back's a must. Again, I'd be going all out for that Denzel dude. What's his name again? Dumfries, that's the guy. Sorry, I just completely had the mind fart there. But Dumfries, yeah, absolutely, and I agree. Yeah, Kent Coleman, is getting on a bit. Kenny, yeah, I agree with that one.
Yeah, I mean, we can whinge all we want. We seem to be coming back to the same sorts of players almost year in, year out, and the same sort of situation. Manager leaves, last minute recruitment, pre-season doesn't go to plan. Last year, we started the season like a house on fire, and we ended up top of the league, and things faded quite quickly. I think that Everton need to look at the squad as a whole. This is obviously a big rebuilding project. This is not Rafa's team, and it wasn't actually Carlo's team. So the Everton fans have kindly, going to give Rafa as much backing as they possibly can, backing the club at the end of the day. But this is going to take some time to rebuild, Mabsy.
I agree, but to be fair, this is what I don't get is what was Rafa promised? What was Ancelotti promised money? Because Roon's begging around this 50 million mark. But then again, if Ancelotti wasn't and then he was told there was no money. Wasn't money in January he came, so he's not really didn't have that chance. And perhaps a controversial decision, that argument is that he probably left because there was no cash. And you know what? I can't blame him, to be honest. And I hope that's not true. I hope we do end up, but I can't see it now. You've got Spurs spending like nobody's business. You've got Man City just blowing everyone out the water. But, this FFP is wrong because we've not had fans since our revenues will be down. So why? And that's going to be for the next 3 seasons because FFP goes back 3, doesn't it? So
yeah, that's right. Mabsy, you touched on a point there. And Basil, I'd like to ask you, how much do you think that having fans back in Goodison next Saturday is going to make a difference?
It's going to be massive. I would have thought it's a big boost. We were really poor, weren't we, at home last season? And we did put it down to a lot because of the fans weren't there and the expectation on our team and, the mentality of our team. They just seem to crumble without the fans. So you would think putting those fans back in is going to be great, especially for the first few games. There's going to be a real bounce.
Well, I have
Everton
to be there to get the ticket, that is.
It's definitely something that we all look forward to. So just looking at pre-season, sort of moving forward now to the match next Saturday. Obviously, Southampton are the opponents. Everton haven't always fared that great. Traditionally, they draw on the opening day. We've actually only won 3 of the last 10. Those matches were Manchester United 2012 with a goal from Marilyn Fellaini. We also won in 2017-18 under Koeman. And Wayne Rooney was the only scorer, and that was a home match against Stoke. And of course, last season, and it was a bit of a shock result at the time, Calvert-Lewin scored the only goal in our away victory against Tottenham. So the stats aren't always that great. Everton traditionally drawing at home. But you do say that having that home backing, when it was there and it's been in and out, did make a difference.
It's going to be... It's going to be different this time.
Yeah.
It's going to be like a celebration. And let's just have positive vibes going on the pitch. Let's have just not as negativity around him, who must not be mentioned. No, Rafa, let's be honest. Come on, Everton. Just get behind the team. That's what we need. Everyone getting behind the team and give them that boost. When Dead Cards comes on, just give it all you've got. Let the players know that we've missed them and let them see what Goodison's like. Let James know what Goodison's like, when it's roaring under the crowds. He's not seeing that.
I think we are going to see that. An interesting theory here from Terry, who thinks that maybe the club picked Rafa as the manager almost to give us a scapegoat. Well, look, I think there was a marriage of convenience, definitely, with him being local and Everton on the lookout. And he has the pedigree. We need to really get behind the team and the players and the manager and everything next Saturday and try and kick forward as much as possible. This is a long rebuilding project. Let's not kid ourselves. If Everton challenge for Europe this season, they need to make sure that they've got the squad that can compete in Europe. And in my opinion, a blessing in disguise that we didn't qualify, as it can be a shambles at times, just winning our home games.
Put that up again a minute, because he raises an interesting point here now. Yeah, it could possibly. However, it's going to backfire on the board if that happens because the board are going to get the blame as well. They're going to say, well, why did you install Rafa? So, I don't know. That's a really interesting question, Terry, because it's kind of like, well, but then we can blame Rafa, but then who appointed them because the fans didn't want him? So, I don't know in that one. It's a really good question. But I don't think so because you couldn't. I mean, he's getting paid 15 million, I've heard. What's that about?
Bryce said it was 7.
Well, I hope it's 7, but I've heard 50. I don't know because Knowles, we don't know.
Ancelotti was on 10. So
yeah, but apparently, is it Rafa's on 15 because we can sack him without notice and not give him any compensation? I don't know. Or but then he can leave without compensation, and it's all weird. But sorry, you were an interesting point there, but I just don't see it because I just feel that the board are setting themselves up to fail. If you know what I mean, because they're going to get the blame as well. I don't know.
Yeah. So let's look forward to the actual match. And I'm
Sorry.
sure there will be time to preview Southampton in good time before Saturday. But in terms of the team, they've been a bit of a bogey side for Everton away. At home, Everton have generally dominated, as Dave points out, Dave Bryan, that we are looking at two average sides. Southampton started last season extremely well. Basil, who's your one to watch?
In the Everton team, or
Well,
or
let's say from Southampton, who do Everton need to be fearful when Zcars comes out and we're all lined up, 39,000 and those non-traveling fans. Who we need to be marking?
I dare I say, I think someone like Theo Walcott, because he's going to be coming back to Goodison, isn't he?
Any
With a
player that
point
returns to
two.
Goodison
Yeah.
is almost a nailed on bookies. It was a dream for anyone betting.
Someone
Obviously,
like
Danny Inks is quality striker. Southampton will be looking to move forward from their position from last year, where they petered off.
Yeah, well, Danny Ings has moved to Aston Villa, so they haven't got very much in the way, without disrespect, of such a focal point anymore. So they're coming here, and I'm not really fearing them that much when Danny Ings isn't in the side. So they've got Redmond, they've got Walcott. That's a lot of pace in wide areas that could hurt us. But
we didn't see we didn't see that pace when he was playing for Everton, but it's the chances to get in behind, which you maybe get against us, but not against the opposition.
I think it's going to be a difficult game because, we're obviously not up to fitness. We're not up to fitness. They're not going to be up to fitness. They've not had good results yesterday. So both teams are coming in off a loss. And obviously we're going to be missing players. So when we see that team sheet, people have got to stay positive and back the side regardless of sort of who's playing next week.
Actually, to be fair, on that point, you've made an interesting point there, Steve. Southampton, how on earth are they only taking half their fucking capacity? Unbelievable, that, to be honest.
Well, it was a subliminal comment, but after all this time without football, it's an opening day of the Premier League.
They can't sell 3,000 tickets. I don't get that with regards to travel up to Liverpool. I'm sorry, Everton sell out regardless of where we are. We sell out, and for them to ever say they're a big club, they can fuck off. Sorry, as far as I'm concerned, you're not playing football in 18 months, and you're still not confident in selling out 3,000 tickets.
No, Southampton have a new arrival in the left back, Romain Perraud, who is their transfer record for this season at nearly just under 11 million. They've also brought in a right midfielder from Chelsea, but other than that, Southampton don't look like they have strengthened too much. But obviously, David, you're right. Danny Inks going to Villa for £32 million. Villa with all of the cash at the moment. Ryan Bertrand was obviously a free transfer from Leicester at left back, but in terms of Everton, they've just got to be organised, and no doubt. And my prediction is sitting on the fence. It's going to be a 1-1 draw. What do you think, Mabsy?
2-1. Everton
to the Blues. So Mabsy batting with his heart rather than with his head.
I do honestly think we're going to
Basil, what do you feel the score will be next Saturday?
I have no idea. I mean, half of me's thinking, as Mabsy says, I think we could win 2-1. But then the question is, will we score 2 goals? I don't know if we actually look that threatening. I think we've got more of a chance if he sets us up to sort of win 1-0, which I think we will try and go for. And that's why it might end up as a 1-1 draw. But I think the crowd could be a massive boost, and I think we could just see it over the line. We
will be the so-called 12th man this game.
Yeah, exactly.
There's going to be 38,500 Bloody Blues and 1,500 Southampton fans. Pathetic, if you ask me. But that's them. That's their following, I guess. So Joey 11 32-1, please. 1-0. Sorry. Yeah. Anyone else? What's score predictions? Come on, comment below.
Yeah, exactly. We know that this won't be a 5-0 win to Everton, but if we can get the points and build from there, it would be fantastic. At what point do you think that we can come back and be realistic in evaluating first of all, Rafa's appointment and the way the squad's coming together. Do you think we need to give him more than a year? Do you think?
No, I
after
think
a
you've
few
got to
months?
give him half a season. You give him till Christmas to see where we actually are in the table, and then kind of say, well, you know, if he's not getting backed, then he may not be the man. Or, you know what? We all may be absolutely completely wrong, and you never know. But I don't want to be all doom and gloom with Rafa, because you know what, he's an Evertonian, like it or not now. You know, he's the gaffer, so you know we've got to really get behind him and you know, and celebrate, as much as it kills me to say it.
Absolutely, there has been a lot of negative hate, and it's only from a pocket of supporters. But unfortunately, it's divided some of the supporters.
Of course, it isn't that they're allowed pocket, and you know what, I can see the point, but some of the stuff that they've done is taking it way too far. I think, you know, everyone has a right to voice their concerns. Yeah, absolutely. Do I think they have a right to threaten people? No, that's not acceptable. Well, no, that's personally. Mark Speaker says 2-0.
Right, before we wrap up today, let's reflect on Richarlison, who managed to win an Olympic gold, the first medal Everton player has won since Daniel Amokachi was successful at the 1996 Atlanta Games. So big congratulations to Richarlison, and we hope that some of the form, he scored 5 goals in the tournament, can be reflected on Everton. Did either of you see the penalty? Were your thoughts on the... David, did you see the penalty?
Yeah, he took a very dodgy run up and then skied it.
It was the same stuttery run up that we saw in the Euros in the summer, which wasn't that long ago. It seems that we're getting back competitive football almost in no time at all. He absolutely skied the ball over the bar, and that doesn't bode well. Basil, having seen that, would you still put Richarlison on penalties for Everton? Or would you transfer that ownership?
It's an interesting question, isn't it? Because obviously our designated penalty taker is you know who, so you know that might not happen anymore. So you know, it kind of comes down to basically Calvert-Lewin or Richarlison wanting that ball and fighting. They'll probably be fighting each other for it, from what I've seen in the past when it comes to those two on penalties. But yeah, I don't know. Let's just give it to Calvert-Lewin, probably based on that. But you know, I wouldn't be doubting either of them if they stepped up. You know, but, it's a difficult one.
Okay, so let's, you know,
in terms of Richarlison coming back, I'm just wondering what you think in terms of how long he will be, because I've been reading. He said he basically won't take a holiday this year.
Yeah, well, he doesn't. At the end of the day, he doesn't. I don't think he needs a holiday, because he's the one who's decided to go to the Olympics. It wasn't Everton sending him out to the Olympics. You know, he's the Copa America. Yeah, absolutely. That's a FIFA commitment. The Olympics is not a FIFA commitment. So at the end of the day, I don't feel sorry for him. You know, he's getting paid a lot of money by us, so he decided he wanted to go. So no, he shouldn't have. I don't think he should be rested.
I think on reflection, with, you know, he's coming back with a gold medal. Hopefully he'll be really happy with that. Full of confidence. It's not an opportunity you get, you know, with the number of, I think there's 3 under 23. Well, he was under 23, but you can have 3 players over 23 in an Olympic squad. But well done, Brazil. They defended the tournament, 2-1 winners against Spain. If you didn't catch the match, it went into extra time. Brazil with the winner. And of course, Richarlison also hit the woodwork in that match. In fact, he probably wondered what he needed to do to score. It was an entertaining match. And now we need to get him and Dominic Calvert-Lewin back into the squad and start building around those focal points.
Fit, isn't he? So that's always a good thing.
He's just scored 5 goals. So, you know, 5 goals. And I think he got a couple of assists. So, you know, he's banging form. We almost need to get him straight in, you know, retain that form going through. I don't think he needs a rest, but I think he needs, you know, what he hasn't done is really seeing his family in Brazil or anything like that.
Yeah, but again, he's not going to go back. He can't just go back to Brazil, because of the COVID situation. Because he had the opportunity not to go to the Olympics, so he had 2 days. I'm sorry, but you know that's not on us as a squad to be giving them that time. I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, apparently he's not playing Southampton. So he should be back for Leeds, and yeah, great. I've got no qualms. He should be missing any more games than that.
Yeah,
personally,
of course.
I don't know.
That Leeds game is Everton's first away game on Saturday the 21st
Again,
at 3 o'clock.
Tickets have not gone on sale for that, and that's really pissing me off. Again, just I don't get what everyone's playing at the moment. I don't get. We're quite literally banging to start the season. We're up in the air. Apparently, people haven't got digital season tickets. That's going to go wrong. You can guarantee it. There's then people who have digital season tickets who then are wanting to upgrade, and then they've got to go from Wednesday. So then they're going to have to queue on Saturday. I've not got my season ticket sent to me. I'm fuming about it. Believe me, I'm not queuing up on Saturday.
Have you really, Mabsy? You've not mentioned that once.
Oh, no, I haven't got my season ticket. I've paid £5 for extra and waited 3.5 hours on the phone on Friday. But as I say, I'm not going to be queuing up on a Saturday. I'll be going down there to the box office Thursday to get my ticket because I want to go to the pub. I want to see my friends.
Time is money, and it's the only non-replenishable resource. So if you're spending all of that trying to get hold of a season ticket to watch Everton,
that you already paid £5 for, don't forget. So I've said to you, it should have been plenty of time, like they promised. Every time you seem to mess up, and I don't get it. It's like it's not this thing that's just the deadline just jumped on them. They've had the deadline since a month ago, so they've had time to get stuff printed and sent out.
I'm sure there's a lot of organisation behind the scenes that we don't fully appreciate. But
they've had months. They've had the renewal finished on like the 15th of July, so it's not like they haven't had months. They've had at least over about 3 weeks to sort this out. But there we go. We're rant over. I'm sorry, but I just want to.
Well, what we don't fully appreciate is all the protocols and everything that they need to put into place to make sure that they have a full house on Saturday. We're all looking forward to the start of the season. In fact, we can't wait. It has come round quickly. Of course, the return of fans means there'll be less TV coverage. Basil, what do you make of that?
Well, you mean I'm just great to be getting back into the stadium, and I think we touched last week, me and Mabsy, that this wild kickoff times were really sort of getting a bit irritating last year. So it would just be good to have some normal kickoff times. Yeah. As long as we can watch the match, it's just the away games. There's not that many allocation of tickets. It's very difficult to get, and
not gone on sale yet.
You have to sort of resort to dodgy sites, don't you, a lot of the time? But we have got, I think, 3 or 4 of the first 5 or 6 fixtures are going to be on TV, on Sky or BT. So there's decent coverage, at least at the start for us.
There are always ways of finding these matches, and of course, radio coverage as well. Stay tuned with the Follow Everton channels, and we will do our best to make sure you're informed of TV coverage and other ways to follow the Blues. So that's all we've got. Everyone. That's all we've got. Of course, like and subscribe. That's all we've got time for today. It's been a really interesting chat covering a number of different topics with the Blues, tickets, and of course, looking forward to the match against the Saints on Saturday. Now, win, lose, or draw, we will be covering that match. The reaction, you'll hear it first. It'll be frank banter, and it'll be from Follow Everton. I'm Steve, your host today. It's been an absolute pleasure to have your company. Do like, share, and comment, and we'll be in touch soon.